it meant anything goes. Anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could die.
Asian apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
Asian apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it. People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it.
Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, where we unleash our claws on the age of apocalypse. What a twist, Gary. Are you ready for the twist?
I wish they didn't show it on the cover. I think it's a cool idea, actually. Like, it's not very much of a twist, but I think it's a cool moment. But it's just there on the cover.
Yeah. You thought his hand was cut off, so therefore his claws were cut off. But no, sir. That nub has claws.
So his adamantium bones in his hand could be cut off, but not the adamantium bones in his claw.
They were sheathed, Gary. They were retracted. The blast missed them.
Like dog dong.
Like it was. You're saying Gary? Excuse me. That Wolverine red rockets every time his claw comes out.
Yeah. Whenever I hear retract or deploy, that's what I think about. Like when my cousin got deployed to the Middle East, I was thinking about dog dong.
Snicked. Oh, there goes Wolverine again. Must be watching Snickamax.
What if a dog, instead of having his shitty, horrifying penis, just had one Wolverine claw?
Oh no!
Came out. I think invented a very scary, like, Pennywise avatar.
I feel like dogs got off pretty lucky in the animal penis category. Like when God was doling those out, like he got a little weird. You know what I'm saying? He took like one too many edibles one night and was like, "Okay, penis time."
Yeah. Just I've been working up to it. What do you mean by they got lucky with that?
Well, like I mean, just like compared to other animals, right? Like it doesn't have barbs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, compared to cats, like yes. But it knots, right? Like there's a bunch of scary shit that dog penises do.
Oh yeah, I know that.
In addition to scaring Gary Butterfield, like they do a lot of things.
But I'm just like,
make me feel fucking horrible.
I mean, but like it doesn't corkscrew. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm going to say it's average. I feel like we really lucked out as humans.
Okay, what is that tier maker website?
The animal penis tier. Humans are S rank.
Humans are S rank. I'm gonna be a little subjective on this one, but humans have the best penises.
Where is that tier maker? Pretty good, buddy.
Let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Break rhythm for a second. I really appreciate that joke.
Just imagine.
I was immediately imagining the YouTube thumbnail of like some YouTuber just being like, "Hey guys,
what up, y'all?
What up, y'all? It's time to rank the best penises of the animal kingdom." Now, like duck penises.
I know your first question is a
little weird.
Is where's your penis, right? But we're not here for that, everybody. We're not here for that.
Exactly that. But if I get enough subscribers,
ring that bell. Maybe you'll see my
we'll
own.
Do the reveal. Yeah. It requires so much like Googling because it's like, imagine the Google history because it'd be all like turtle penis, weasel penis, rat penis.
Oh, dude,
like the Google history would be exclusively like a zoo books.
I would pay the like $10 a month for a VPN while I'm putting together the tier maker, so that
100%
incognito mode,
incognito window strong enough for that shit.
But like, I kind of vaguely know the guy that owns my internet company, so like, I don't want him to like be able to look up. Jesus Christ, Jeremy's in a dark place. Like,
as a courtesy, I'm talking to you before I talk to Autumn. Listen.
First it was the milk liberation front. Now this.
Just very confused by your Google search.
As I think anybody would be.
Man.
X-Men.
goodness.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wolverine probably has a normal penis, right?
I'm guessing. I bet you it's like thick, but average length.
Okay, so like a Coke
Like
can
pretty
is what
normal.
you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what I imagine. Like Puck.
Hmm.
It's basically shaped like the Alpha Flight member known as Puck, but just attached to Wolverine, like one of those fish.
You think he does some manscaping down there? He kind of just to give it the
No.
optical inch, or you think he's fully like wooled out?
No, I think he's full natural, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%.
I was reading an article
anywho.
that someone wrote, and they were talking about how they used to be real big into like the sex rappers, like the 2 Live Crews of the world and everything.
Sure.
And it's like as a teenager, like hearing anybody talk about sex was so exciting, right? Like it was just whatever. And it reminded me that there was a line in one of those songs where a guy talks about having a 15-inch penis and it's 8 inches thick. And then
it's got the proportions of a Final Fantasy 1 character. Like it's
my penis could also be in place for a low poly buster sword, right? Like oh, man. Rap more about
That's
your dicks,
horrible.
everybody. It's so much fun.
Everyone I've ever met who has like monster dong
Mm-hmm.
does not like it.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to people who do have monster dong, and they're just like, yeah, it's a logistical nightmare. Like I can't. It's really hard to have sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that sounds horrible.
I had a friend that had an extremely he was a white dude, and he had an extremely dark penis. Like it was the darkest thing on his body.
Like a dog.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he nodded it, but yeah.
Were you going somewhere?
No, we're just talking about penises and what's a weird penis that you know is a fun game. I guess. Right? That's a fun game. What's a weird penis
it's
that
a cool
you know?
game. This is just guys being dudes.
Yeah, just having fun. Talking about dick. What's up?
Oh, that's good.
What's the weirdest one you ever saw in person?
I mean, not that many. Not as a flex. Just happens to be the case.
Yeah.
I was the kind of kid who refused to shower in gym class. So
Did any of your friends have the weird penis guy that did tricks with his penis?
no penis tricks. I knew a guy who used to constantly do the put his balls out of his jeans and be like, "Look, I sat in some gum."
Yeah.
And I knew a guy who used to go, "Have you seen my new watch? It's a penis watch," and he would stretch his penis over his wrist,
Of course.
like a watch.
Mhm.
I knew a guy like that who did heroin and died in the street, got hit by a car.
Bummer.
Uh,
You see, kids, don't
rest in peace,
don't do
Sam.
any weird penis tricks, or you're going to end up like
Yeah,
Sam.
it's a gateway drug to dying in the street in DeKalb, Illinois. No, did you what kind of puppetry of the penis shit did you know?
Oh, there was just like one dude that was like right around our friend group for some reason, and like he was known for like doing whirls, and like he had like a weird puppetry thing that he would do and like make it walk or something, and it was just always like, it's too late at the party. I've got to go home. Like that, whenever that starts happening, I'm like, I've got to leave. I am no longer having fun.
Yeah, the penis tricks. Do you remember puppetry of the penis? Do you remember that? You remember that from the 90s?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's real weird. That went away real quick. Like that felt like that was a thing for a while. And it went away. Google it, kids.
Don't.
Don't. It's a lot what it sounds like.
It's exactly what it sounds like, and it's not
yeah.
fun. Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like gone the way of, and I'm sure Howard Stern still does stuff, but like nobody listens on the radio for girls to be on a Sybian anymore either, right? Like I feel like that's just like weird shock bullshit that, yeah.
Yeah. The Jim Rose Psycho Circus
Exactly.
period of our culture. Speaking of the Psycho Circus, we got Reavers in this issue.
Yeah.
Segway King.
On topic.
Segway Lord. We had to pull out in some way.
Oh,
I gotta order a pizza after this.
Yes.
The ultimate.
Wolverine is stabbing a Reaver on the cover. On the inside, it's a bunch of what's happening in Eurasia. So a bunch of Infinites are culling a bunch of mutants, and they're trying to convince Gateway to pilot their armada across the Atlantic through a bunch of craziness so they can bomb the shit out of America.
Yep. And this is a psychic projection, like a holographic projection, to get Gateway off the sidelines.
Yes.
Like Gateway is like, oh, this is very distasteful, and Wolverine is saying like, you know the stats, but look, this is what happens. Here's a culling. And then I made the kid create this digidiary of her.
Can you imagine being the tech geek and like, I want you to create a diary for that kid that just died, and like a lot of it? Like, how many pages are we talking about?
Does it have to be readable? Like, yeah, because he might read it. Well, that's fucking depressing. I guess I got my week laid out transcribing this dead girl's diary. But basically that's the theme of this whole bit is Wolverine is the tough man who will do what it takes.
Yes.
He's basically, Gateway's like, Logan, you're a cold son of a bitch. And he's like, yes, sir, I am. That's what comes from being short, hairy, and unloved.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch indeed. What is your excuse? They go back to, the real world where they've done this hologram thing. Brian Braddock is saying that was a mistake. You could have been a little gentler. And Gateway says, no. If you had been gentler, it wouldn't have worked.
Thanks, Gateway.
I will join you. Yeah.
You seem like a real winner.
Yeah. Gateway in this book is very confusing to me.
Me too.
90s, quit trying to make Gateway a thing.
Yeah, dude. Or just like make him just a weird thing that doesn't make any sense. Like, go one way or the other, but don't explain him.
Yeah. Again, he's like doesn't really talk in the real universe. Like
exactly.
Making him this like weird articulate guy is very strange.
We go to New York, where Apocalypse is getting an update from Rex, the most loyal and best member of Apocalypse's team.
His weird little toady, his human toady.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically telling him what's happening in Europe. Like, the airship armada is on the way. They're going to try to attack. There's a big storm, so they're probably not going to come here, And also, we still have not heard from Mikhail. We're going to learn what happened to Mikhail in the extremely shitty X Universe #2. Rex says, like, let's arm our platforms, and Apocalypse says, no, this is the end game. The fit will survive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see how this plays out. Then he shows him one of his VAT-based technology things where he's taken 2 babies and a gun and merged them together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, literally the gun is just in his chest. So he's just making all these pickled punks, and that's kind of his whole thing. The VAT techs think it eats its own surplus parts. And he's got a real shit-eating grin on his face.
He is extremely happy about this whole situation. Like, this is.
Who cares if I get nuked? I got a bad baby.
I wish someone had shown like Apocalypse a train set. Like, maybe if he would just gotten into weird train sets and been one of those dudes, like none of this would have had to happen.
100%. Like, yeah, he just needs a hobby.
Yeah. Like something he can get real into, like painting Warhammer figures, right? And learning about that, and doing Warhammer lore videos. I'm sure that guy exists, and his name is Apocalypse.
Once Xavier died, Warhammer was the first thing to go, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it's sad. This is, I think, the idea. I was thinking a while, like, why are we seeing this? Like, and I think it's to show that it's implying that Apocalypse's plan for all the humans that don't die is to turn them all into reavers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is like throw them into vats and turn them into gun babies.
Yeah, and we'll see that. Like, somebody says that. Like, I think Wolverine says that to Carol when she shows up. Like, this is what he's planning on to do for everybody. Before that, as the Armada is leaving out, Gateway is like, yeah, I can get us through this. Like, it's, but I'm not doing it for that little girl that you showed me being dead. I'm doing it for Carol Danvers. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah. Way to neg the dead girl's diary here. After this, she's going to turn and piss on Anne Frank's diary and call it a day.
What do you think that was in the diary that put Gateway off? Was she like a MCR fan or something? Like, what do you think it was?
Yeah, like, it's like, listen, Wolverine, I'm very sad for her, but honestly, 16-year-old girls' diaries are pretty boring. I'd prefer to talk to somebody my own age. Fair enough, bub.
Plenty of those died too. Here, let me show you.
Yeah.
A tech in the background. Oh, man.
Here's their live journals. Make it a 3D printout. But it's online.
Here's their Tumblr. So I hate that ship.
So they're flying. Brian Braddock is on the ship, and Emma Frost is saying, like, you probably shouldn't be here. Wolverine, overhears her say, like, there's something not right about him. And he's like, yeah, Mariko said the same thing. Why is he there? Why is he here? Like, this ship is going to be a target. And Emma Frost is like, yeah, that'd be suicidal. Also, if you warned your girlfriend we were coming and they were going to destroy us, it'd be suicidal for you to be here as well. And Wolverine lets this sink in for a minute. And then they kind of have a walk and they talk about being hardening your hearts enough to nuke the United States.
Yes.
Because if not, Apocalypse will kill everyone.
Because they walk through like the nukes that are at in the weapons bay or whatever. So they're just like walking around a bunch of nuclear weaponry while Wolverine just waxes poetic about, I've got to kill all these people because I love somebody or something.
Yeah. Like I couldn't convince Jean
Mm-hmm.
to want to commit this war crime. Frost apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry. I have no idea what it's like to, and he's like, to be me, the one who's going to pitch these right down on top of her. Good angsting from Wolverine here.
Mm-hmm.
He is torn. We go back to Gateway, who is navigating the ship by standing on top of it.
Yeah, he is.
Which seems unnecessary to me. But what do I know?
Dude, have you ever surfed a nuclear ship before? Come on.
Well, no. Sadly, no.
I'm sorry.
Perhaps someday.
I didn't expect you to take that so seriously. I'm sorry. I could ask more questions about dicks if you'd rather.
This is like critical for him using his power to navigate, the airwaves or whatever.
Yes.
When the weird vulture, She-Vulture comes carrying Pierce. It's not She-Vulture, it's actually Carol Danvers. We don't know this at this point though, because he also had another winged lady.
Yes. And we see Pierce like yelling at the Apocalypse base of like, the humans are coming. Like you need to scramble the interceptors, get them out here. We're going to attack them. And sure enough,
he says, don't scramble the interceptor. They say we're going to do a beacon to scramble them. And he says, if you do that, then I'm going to fuck you up. He does say scramble the interceptors, but don't put a beacon on here because I'm going to be in that ship. It's a little confusing. Like, he's fighting and he doesn't want the ship to get shot down.
Oh, I thought he was just like, you throw the beacon on and I'll be in the lead airship. Like I'll be,
Yeah, there's a weird thing. He's like, there's a weird emphasis. He's like, you do that. Oh no, yeah, you're right. I thought it was like, you do that and I'll be on the ship. But he's saying you do that. And I don't know why that's emphasized, and that's what confused me. You were right. They go in. Carol Danvers now has 4 arms.
Hell yeah.
Which is a cool look. And they're just shooting humans. It looks like Reed Richards gets shot in the face right here, but I don't think it's supposed to be Reed Richards.
Maybe that's a Nick Fury or something. I don't think that's true either.
Yeah. Long dead.
Also, Carol Danvers has Archangel's wings, so props for them giving Archangel's wings to a character that can normally fly just without wings. So props.
They say like we have to get Wolverine in here, and Emma Frost is like, Brian Braddock says like, tell him it's Pierce. And Emma Frost's like, how do you know? And Pierce like, that's because he's betraying you. And it turns out, we knew something was wrong with him the whole time. He's had like a weird psychic implant inside his head.
Yes.
To make him turn to a bad guy. We go back up onto the top of the ship where Wolverine and Gateway are facing off against Carol Danvers. They do this cool lightning effect in the background.
I really
this
like
is an old comics thing.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's I remember from the cover of the Dark Knight Returns, like Frank Miller comic. Like, it's one of my favorite, like, just standard stock comic effects. I think it looks so cool. And Wolverine's trying to get through to Carol. She shot up his arm really bad. That's the plot thing. Is his main business claw arm is fucked up.
Yeah. Shot it so bad it can't work anymore. But he makes an appeal to her of like, hey, don't do this, because if you do this, they're gonna do to the whole world what they've done to you. Like, look at yourself. Meanwhile, like Emma Frost tries to like Emma Frost finds an axe on the bridge, which I find very extremely funny. But yeah, and then I was
going to ask about that axe. Like it
was
it's pretty weird.
It was in my second
slot.
An
executioner's axe. Yeah. She switches back to her weapon. She was trying to look disarmed.
Exactly.
She's wearing that ring that makes your weapons invisible up until this point. But yeah, it's like a medieval executioner's axe.
But Braddock tells her like, hey, I tried to fight it, but I was too weak, but I'm not now. And then shoots Pierce in the face. But on the way out, Pierce stabs him in the stomach from the back, and Emma uses the axe to cut Pierce's arm off. And of course, Braddock dies. And I guess Emma Frost does too. I don't think we ever see her again.
No, I think she's just not around.
Yeah.
We go back up on the deck, and Carol kind of explains, like, I was dying, Pierce infected me, but I'm sharing this with another entity, and I don't have total control. Like, you have to stop me. Wolverine's like, I can't do that. My arm's all shut up. And Pierce is like, mine isn't, and kills Carol. The idea being just to get revenge. She was my only way off this death ship, but who cares? Because we're going to both die.
Yep.
Like, he just wants us to kill Wolverine no matter what.
Yeah, he grabs Gateway, and basically, Wolverine starts approaching him with one arm shot off, and Pierce starts making fun of him, saying like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Stump me to death?" And then we see Schluck, Shrup, Schnicked.
Yeah, I actually love that. I love the blood snicked.
Yeah,
like going down and stuff. Like, this is very. I'm real into how comic booky that is. And it's the reveal that his claws are in his forearm, and he can actually push them out through his nub.
Yes. Cyclops may have lopped off my hand, but my claws were retracted inside my forearm until now. And the scene is just him stabbing Pierce in his chest, and Pierce looking rather shocked about the whole thing.
Yep. They're clearing villains out.
Yep.
Shadow King's dead. Pierce is now dead. And as this happens, Gateway uses his bolo, creates a big portal to teleport the Armada in. And Doomsday is coming.
And that's where we end, with everybody kind of about to join up in X-Men Omega.
Yes.
I think all of this stuff is good. Like, I don't really mind any of this stuff. Like, the weird Braddock stuff seems kind of, I thought it was going to be something more than this. I didn't realize it was just going to be a basic, like, controlled by a psychic doodad. But all the Wolverine stuff was super fun. Like, I enjoyed all of this. Like, even Gateway being like really, really dumb works for me in this issue.
Yeah, well, Wolverine is like this era of Wolverine actually has a lot of joy to it if you can like get into the loner badass monologue, I think. And this is a fun issue. Like, the Braddock stuff is real weird because that's Captain Britain, who is tangentially an X-Men character. Like, he was the leader of Excalibur at the time, and just using him as just, it could have been a generic spy is very strange.
Agreed.
And it just felt like it was in this book to put it somewhere. And to add a little intrigue, but this ended up being a pretty fun action comic, I think.
Yeah.
Like, Larry Hamas, the G.I. Joe guy, does really good action monologue kind of shit.
And this reveal is so comic book dumb that I'm just kind of love it. Like, even if it wasn't, even if it was revealed on the cover, like, the idea that he had claws in there the whole time but just wasn't using them is really fucking funny to me. Like, like every single time he's fought, he could have been twice as effective, but nah, we had to save it.
Yeah. Yep. It's also kind of a fun thing because it seems like the kind of thing you could have figured out on your own and then like feel really good when it happened.
Sure.
Like, he's that wouldn't cut off his claws. And then you see like, oh shit, it didn't. He was just saving it, which is a little weird. Like, you have to believe that he would just save it.
Yeah.
But it probably hurts and it probably fucks up his nub.
Does it hurt when it comes out?
Cheap.
Every time.
Every time, says the dog. If you like this show, it's not always penis chat. We got a punchy week going on.
It's a lot.
I'm not saying it's never. It's just not always. You can support us on patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.
Yes. Do that. Gets you all kinds of cool benefits, access to the Slack channel, episodes early. We can get like groups of episodes of this podcast if you want that, as opposed to having to wait days in between the podcast episodes. All kinds of cool stuff over there. You can also rate and review all of the different penises that you have seen on Apple iTunes. Let us know. We do have a feedback episode coming up, so I am collecting.
Yes.
I am collecting emails from that. So Days of Future Cast. No. Yeah, daysoffuturecast.com/contact is the best way to plop those, or DM us on Twitter at DOFC Podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back.